7,
Check.
1, 2, testing. 1,
5,
2,
I
testing.
got
4, 3,
Put some bass in my
2,
voice. Testing.
1. They say it's a 10-second delay, but I'm getting a little bit more of a 10-second delay.
Yeah, I think it's a
That
20
was
second
old.
delay.
I think it was Eddie Murphy skit. Hey, brother, put some bass in your voice.
Ray Kelly's wanting to know about NASCAR.
All right, here we go. Here's the real deal here. Okay, fellas,
It's going.
countdown. 3, 2, 1, and welcome into DroneNation for February 2nd, 2000. I mean, February 2nd. I get this all wrong. February 21st, 2022. This is the President's Day special edition today. This is going to be a big show. I'm here with my regular co-host, Marcus Crawford and DeMarco Moore, and we will be joined in just a few minutes by John Cuppi and Patrick Sutton. And we're going to have a big discussion in this show about the DroneMaster FPV type goggles, but that's coming in a little while. So everybody, hang in there, folks. Again, I and no truth to the rumor that Washington and Lincoln will be appearing on this show tonight. They're busy. They can't make it. But anyhow, let me throw it over to one of my co-hosts. We'll check in with Marcus and see what he's been up to. This is a man that should be the president of something. Marcus, were you a president of anything?
I was actually the president of my homeowners association, and let me tell you, that little experience taught me that politics are way overrated. Let me tell you. I had to look both ways when I'd leave my house. You'd make a lot of enemies.
Yeah, I was asked to be an officer in my homeowners association one time, and I politely declined.
You're very, very smart. Trust me on that. So what have I been doing? I did actually, Ron and DeMarco, I got out the other day out to the canyon, and I flew both the Autel Nano Plus and the Xeno Mini Pro. They're kind of natural competitors because they both have that 1/1.3 for the Hubsan and 1/2.8 sensor on the Nano Plus. So, I thought it would be good to fly those two together. And, you probably doesn't take too much of a stretch to figure out which one I had a better result with. But then also there was a big firmware update for the Xeno Mini Pro, and a lot of people had been asking me to test that. So I loaded that up, took that drone out to one of the local parks and did a little test with it. And, there were a few issues here and there, but anyway, and then, I just released that video on the DroneMask, but that's going to be something we're going to talk about a little bit later.
We'll get in that detail.
Mr. Moore.
DeMarco Moore, welcome in tonight. Have you ever been president of anything?
I have. In college, I was the president of our class my senior year, but not the whole class, just our major class. So it was like 200 people. That was pretty cool. And that's it. That's it.
So you have some experience in the political realm.
A little bit,
DeMarco is the president of his family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, shh, whisper that. But yes, I.
And possibly could be the president of the drone community someday.
No. Happy Monday, gents. Happy Monday, chat. It's always a pleasure to see you guys and see the folks in the chat. So happy Monday.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Monday. And listen, I have some news here too.
Oh, go ahead. Go. Break the news.
I hit the buy button.
Mavic 3?
On the DroneMaster?
Nope. I hit the buy button. It's not that exciting though, but on the new GPC case for the Air 2S and RC Pro.
Oh, what the heck?
Oh.
Jesus.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be the Mavic 3.
No, well, here. I mean, this isn't drone related though, but I bought a tractor today too. So.
Oh. Well,
it
like, could be drone related if you use active tracked it.
What was that?
Active track it around the yard. It could be drone related.
Johnny said that too. Actually.
Johnny Drone Flyers a smart man. There's the man who should be president of something.
I got one little bit of advice for you, DeMarco. Nothing runs like a deer.
No, well, here, let's just say that's all right. I don't want to mess up the show though, but I'm selling my John Deere. I do have a John Deere regular lawn tractor, and I purchased a Hustler Dash zero turn, 34-inch. So it's
A
small.
Hustler.
Yeah, Hustler.
And you sold a John Deere. You may be
I
banished
sold
from
it.
the
Yeah,
show,
well,
huh?
I'm selling it. Though it's in the garage now. I'm selling it. Yeah, yeah. My garage. I mean, our yard is wide. You know, like we actually live at the end of a cul-de-sac, so like I'm constantly turning, and it's a pain in the butt with the tractor though. So I just want to,
Yeah.
spin it around.
No, that
So,
makes sense.
Makes
yeah.
sense.
So anyway, but the case, that's the highlight there. Ooh, I can't wait to get it.
Well,
So-
we're expect to see a kind of a full unboxing and all when it
Oh
comes in.
yeah. Everybody, look at
It's got to appear on
Come on.
DroneNation.
this.
Got to make an appearance on Zed.
So Ron Brown, it's your turn. What the heck have you been flying or doing or?
Again, it's the winter. The weather's been pretty bad around here. I really haven't got much. It was a decent day today. I flew my Autel, not the Nano, not the Lite, but the big boy Evo 2 Pro. But I've mostly just been kind of editing videos and basically preparing for my venture to Florida, which I'll be on the road by the end of the week. But listen, we got two big guests back in the green room, and I think these shrimps are running a little low tonight, so we better get them on set here. What do you think, guys?
Well, they're probably starting out on the chicken fingers now, Ron.
Yeah. So we better get them in here. And Lloyd said Chris Hope said chicken's running a little thin at the grocery store. So with no further ado, all the way from is John from Missouri, Kansas? Where's John from?
Yes.
Kansas. All the way from Kansas is John Cuppi,
Sure.
and I guess all the way from Kansas also is Patrick Sutton. Did I get the Kansas right?
Patrick, where do we start? Where do we start with that one?
Got it. Yeah, I think so, actually.
You're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
There you go.
I don't know, John.
So-
I haven't been. I don't know about the whole Kansas thing now.
So to clarify, we're both in mid Missouri. We're not on the Kansas side of Missouri.
Okay, Missouri. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Very close to the Missouri River, actually, which is where Patrick and I like to fly quite a
Are
bit.
you anywhere near Kansas? Does your state touch the Kansas border?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it touches the border, but
Okay,
like,
good. Okay, so at least we're in the right region of the country.
yeah, I mean, close enough.
Yeah. Missouri is what is Missouri? Is that the Shelby State?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, Ron, I'm originally from New Jersey, though.
Right.
We know
Right.
that,
We know that. And Patrick, are you originally from someplace else?
Nope. Born and raised here all
Okay.
my life. Moved around. Came back.
Okay.
What's the city you guys are from? The city you guys live in? Cuppi?
Oh, so I live in the Columbia, Missouri area,
You're not
I'm
that
in
far from here.
Jefferson City, Missouri.
Actually.
which is like 20 minutes from where that is. So,
Okay.
Now, where your city is, do your fans root for St. Louis or they root for Kansas City in sports?
Ooh.
Cardinals for baseball. Kansas City for football.
Yeah, it's pretty
because
much
the
it,
Rams
right?
left, so you can't root for the Rams anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of on the poop sheet.
Yeah, we've had teams move away from around here too. But anyhow, we'll get off the sports and geography here. But welcome in, guys. It's great to have you both on the show tonight. We're going to talk about the DroneMaster here eventually because both you guys did a nice little video about it just released today. If anybody wants to see it, it's posted on the DroneNation Facebook group. I'm sure it's on what RC drone discussion Facebook group also. You know that John's I guess a administrator of.
Yeah.
So over there too. So and Marcus also has done a DroneMaster video and it was also released recently. Was it released last night, Marcus?
I did release that video yesterday, and I'm amazed at, I thought that it would just have kind of a limited audience, but clearly this is a product that a lot of people are interested in, and I kind of understand why. And Ron and DeMarco, all you guys know, when you're flying in the bright sun. You know, we're always looking for solutions to, particularly with the iPhones, the screen gets dark on them, and if you have a way to be able to see everything and nice and bright, well, that's a good thing to think about.
Yep.
Well, that's a good teaser, Marcus. So everybody's got to stay in, hang in here, because we're going to go do some other stories first. We're going to go soup the nuts on the Drone Master has. It's like a professional show here. We tease them up here. So
See what I did there, John? I messed up.
It was perfect. It's like a big time show here. Sam, we already hit the number one. Happy President's Day. Number two, here's a little bit of breaking news, folks. Most of it came sometime last night. Woke up this morning, checked my iPhone to see if any apps updated overnight, and lo and behold, the DJI Fly app got upgraded overnight to version 1.5.10, and the notes were, quote, fixes certain issues and optimizes overall app quality. Has anybody in the panel got to test out this new app? Marcus?
Negative. I just saw that note from Lauren today, so I was just looking at my phone and see if it had updated yet. So, no, the short answer for me is no, but I'll bet DeMarco has.
DeMarco probably get out. DeMarco, does the FPV drone use the Fly app?
You know what? No.
Yeah, I think it does. No, it doesn't. It's got its own app.
The thing is, like, you don't need it. You know, you don't need it to fly. I have hooked up my phone and flown it though, and the kids are watching though, but like, you don't need it. So I guess yes and no.
It does, DeMarco, because you have to hook up the Fly app to do updates and so forth.
Oh yeah.
So I believe that it's kind of what you see in the goggles. I believe is kind of a hybrid version of the Fly.
Yeah. You need to do the updates and then share it though. But most of the time when I'm flying though, I'm not doing that though. But
how about you, Patrick? I know in the video you were flying the Air 2S. So I know you're a Fly app kind of guy.
Yeah, I saw that it was released, and I just haven't had a chance to sit down and do it yet. So probably after the show.
John, you have the Mavic Air 2, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Hey, someone in the chat is saying that the sound is extremely bad, and when I play it back on YouTube, something's going on. Something's not right.
Well, I mean, Patrick, his audio was low, but just the last couple things he said, his audio picked up really well. And John, you have just some kind of a background stacking coming from your feed.
Yeah,
so
I wonder if
that's the fan on the computer, right?
Oh, but I thought it was good. So for some reason, my microphone, it's not getting microphone from this now that we started the damn show. So I'm going to have to figure that out.
Well, that's happened to me before.
Oh, man. Okay, so let me try to figure that out, guys. Sorry.
You may just, if you just lower the volume a little bit, it may fix it, John.
Yeah, okay. So that definitely shuts it off when John...
Yeah, okay. Thank you, John. So, okay, well, sorry, folks. I didn't get a chance to fly with the Fly app. I had it today, but I flew the Autel drone today, so I did not get a chance to test it out yet. But this what I do want to say about this, a lot of people are upset that all they tell you about the app is fixes certain issues and optimizes overall app quality. They give you this real vague, they almost tell you nothing here. I mean, I could have wrote that description based on nothing. And we've had complaints about this in the past, how we, Marcus, that these people do these updates and they don't really let you know what they're updating or doing.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now, Ron. And by the way, I would have to force the update because mine did not update it. When I went to that page in the App Store, it didn't show that it needed an update. But when I look at the app, then it says yes, update. And only has one line. It says fixes certain issues and optimizes overall app quality. That's it. So we have no clue what it does. But
it's not just DJI does this. Autel has done the same thing on some of their updates, haven't they, Marcus? Where they don't really say this again. I could have wrote this, not even working for the company. This is like a politician wrote this. Fixes certain issues, optimizes overall app quality. That's as generic as a description as anybody could write.
And I can tell you, I just did the update, and it took about 10 seconds, so it can't be anything too crazy. So.
Does this frustrate you guys, Patrick or DeMarco, too, when you get these updates that they don't tell you a darn thing on what it's doing?
Well, as an IT guy, I'm constantly looking at version changes and stuff like that. So when I see something like that come over, I'm like, do I do it or do I not do it? I gotta wait till the professionals kind of take a hold and I see a video or two out about it before I even pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Welcome back in, John. We'll test John's audio.
And that background audio is gone, John. So that
Yeah.
sounds much better. Yeah,
It was
that's
set to
great.
my laptop's internal microphone. How did we not catch that in the pre-show? I swear I sounded fine.
Our producer was on break tonight. Our producer had off for President's Day. We couldn't afford to pay him holiday pay.
Oh God! All right,
Don't worry about it,
John.
John. We're just gonna kind of move right along here. So, John, what were we talking? What do you think about when these updates come out and the description tells you absolutely nothing or whatever? I mean, that's not just DJI. Other drone makers are guilty of the same thing.
I was literally going to say something about that. Like, guys, isn't it annoying as hell when they just don't tell you anything in these change logs? Like Patrick was saying in IT, it's just kind of crazy to see a change log with no details. Like, you need to know what's going on. It's pretty much it's almost an industry standard, honestly, with software development and all that you provide a change log. But in the drone world, it just seems like it's okay to say we updated and fixed stuff. That's it.
I mean, it's almost like they're fixing oopsie stuff. Like, oh crap.
Well, you don't, and plus it's scary because you don't know. Did they update something that you're going to be disappointed when you go to use the app? That happened when the radio couldn't be charged with the iPhone. I remember that they put up an update and the charging of the phone was disabled. A lot of people got upset about that.
Right, and it took them a long time to get it put back in again.
Yeah. So I hung back some versions because I like that feature.
Yeah. True. So, So anyhow, this is something. It just annoys a lot of people that they don't tell you what they're doing in some of these minor updates. And like John said, maybe it's changing something that you liked or whatever. Yeah. And Marcus.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking, what if they did something like added the Mini 3 to it, right? Let's just start a rumor right now.
Or what if this fixed the slow satellite issue on the Mavic 3?
Oh, there you go.
Or the
rumors.
Mini, what is it? DJI, FPV?
Oh, keep dreaming, DeMarco.
That's right.
Another rumor out there, folks.
Johnny told me that, actually. Johnny told me.
Oh, well, if it came from Johnny.
Sorry, Johnny's under NDA. You can't say that. So, okay. We're going to set quick hitters on some of these stories. Okay. Story number 3 here. Our good friends over at GoPro, makers of fine action cameras for years. They have a President's Day sale today. And in the promotion, they say you can save up to $200 off the price of a Hero 10. Now, that probably means they're going to fudge to the highest price that phone's ever been sold from to take the $200 off. I mean, that actually camera's ever been sold to take the $200 off. I did not actually go to the site today and check this. I just got the email blast from them.
Hey, Ron, I'll tell you what, I'll take a look. But I remember when it first came out, the list price was like $500 or something.
I think $549 at one point.
Well, let me tell you, I paid $349 for mine at that time, and I got that kit that had the little tripod and all that stuff. So it's not very often I think that they sell one for their full list.
I got it for $349 too, but I didn't get all the little tripod. I just got the extra memory card or something maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to go on their website right now, Ron, and I'll.
Yeah. So I mean the Hero 10. It's still a very relevant action camera. It's been out since the fall, and I know that Hero 11 will probably be here by the end of September. But I mean, summertime's coming up, and if you're a drone guy like us, and you need to take a lot of B-roll out in the field when you're filming review videos, like in a DroneMaster, it's almost no better piece of equipment than to have that GoPro filming your B-roll, because unlike a regular camera, your tripod can get knocked over, falling down. Nothing's going to break. You just pick your GoPro up, wipe it off, and you keep on filming.
I totally agree. It's a handy little son of a gun. And Ron, you are absolutely correct. They have on their website, they're showing the Hero 10 Black. They had it originally priced at $549.98, and it's on sale for $349.98. So, boy, if you're looking for one, it looks to me like now's the time.
I mean, and again, just to be fair, if you have a recent model like the 8 or the 9, I mean, this isn't a must-have upgrade. I mean, it's better than the 8 or 9, but both of those are still really good cameras, and
Oh, one more thing here, Ron. They're also saying that it includes the 1-year GoPro subscription. Well, it says save $200 with 1-year GoPro subscription.
Yeah, so you have to get the GoPro subscription.
Maybe you do have to buy that, which is $50. So
which is always the way they make you do it, right?
Yeah,
right.
So you're going to spend $400. It looks like.
So, Patrick or John, are either of you two GoPro users?
I've got my Hero 8 sitting right here, but to be totally honest with you, I don't do a whole lot of action cam, reviews anymore. Pretty much, actually, what I find myself doing is I just use my iPhone. I film with my iPhone on a little tripod. I guess I'm going the risky route if it goes over.
Yeah. I mean, no, the iPhone, the iPhone's as good as a camera as there is, better than the Hero 10. But the risky thing, the iPhone's breakable and the Hero's not.
I just put it on a sturdy tripod then and cross my fingers.
Of course, I mean the iPhone's weatherproof now, but I don't know if I trust to dump it in a pool as much as I would the GoPro.
I love the video quality of the GoPro, but I guess one thing for me is that I like to put them on my FPV quads and stuff, and I don't have any protection for this Hero 8, so I pretty much will just barely use that for FPV. I do use this guy though, the Insta360, all the time. I use this thing all the time, and I've got the powered case now for it. You see that? The USB. Oh yeah. Powered case, so I can get pretty much unlimited runtime.
But that's not as ruggedized as the Hero, is it?
No, but at least I have the Insta360 care on it. And they pay for shipping both ways.
It's pretty rugged too. Hey, John, you just made me think of something. I saw an ad today on Banggood that Caddx had a little camera that looked like the size of what's the GoPro little square camera?
Session,
yeah.
Thank you.
It looked like a Session, John. Is that something new, or is that something that Caddx has had for a while?
I didn't. To be honest with you, there have been like Session clones. I think you might be looking at something from Fox here, but it could be Caddx. I don't know. I tell you what,
definitely Caddx. That's what caught my eye.
Let me see. Yeah, because I'm not sure, honestly. I do know that none of the Session clones have ever really lived up to the hype, so to speak. A lot of people have tried to clone the Session and have kind of just failed.
Gotcha.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Got to be something new.
Patrick, are you a GoPro user?
I am currently not. I just haven't bit off that chunk yet. I'm spending more money on my drones than I am on the actual cameras to filming the drone. So I had ventured a thought about maybe doing the new DJI action camera, and then it had over issues and such. So I kind of pulled back and just kind of waiting to see what happens.
I know Mark and I both found over the years that our most viewed videos are the one where we have good B-roll along with the drone footage. Basically anymore, no matter how good your drone footage is, if you don't have any B-roll, of yourself in the ground or location or telling a story or something, it's only going to get so many views.
Right. Yeah. John, I think it was you. Someone told me that, people really don't watch drone video flights much except for other drone people. So, you got to have that personality in there, that talking in front of the camera to get some people to pull in for the view. So I'll get there. I'm just not there yet.
Right.
Yeah, it's really hard to get people to watch flight footage, just straight up flight footage.
Hey, John, Mickey has a question probably for you in the chat. He says, do any of the Caddx units have a DVR, with a DVR have stabilization?
Oh, you mean like the CADX Air units on the FPV quads? So those actually don't have any DVR on board at all. You just record straight to your goggles. I will say this though. There is a way with an application called GyroFlow where you can take the gyro data from the FPV drone and the video that you record in your DJI DVR, feed it into that program, and you actually can stabilize your DJI FPV footage. It's a little complicated, but it's possible to do.
Is this a free or a paid program, John?
GyroFlow is a free and open source program. It can literally take data from like the Insta360 Go videos, and you can run it through there. And you could do a lot with GyroFlow to videos from GoPros, videos from Insta3, any camera that it can basically give you decent gyro data from. You can use it with. It's really cool. It's a very cool program.
Wow, good. And you could use it for any type of footage. It wouldn't have to be necessarily FPV footage.
That's right. Yeah.
So that begs a question, and this goes back to the camera drone community. So we look at these drones like this Hubsan Zeno Mini Pro and this Nano Plus, and we see shakes in the video, and we see those kind of things. Why is it that it's so tough for them to smooth that stuff out? If there's that kind of technology available, and clearly there is, and there's this gyro data on those drones, why is it so tough for those companies to figure out that video?
I can answer that one. It's because that is actually an intense process, CPU wise, to do that. If we had very powerful CPUs on board with these units, then electronic stabilization would be, it would be there. You would do some of that sometimes on these drones, but you can't. And the other thing is the process to use a program like GyroFlow. There's no like one size fits all solution with that, right? You really need to look at your footage. You might need to do certain GyroFlow settings for one portion of the footage and then change them for another. So it's not a one size fits all thing. But for the most part, I would say the reason why electronic stabilization isn't better, we just don't have the computing power to do it. It's expensive.
It would use up so much battery, and you'd have to have such a expensive.
Probably cost. It's probably cost wise too. Yeah, it's probably cost wise as well.
Right. Yeah. Hey, can we speak to Lon directly for a second, Lon?
Yes.
Lon, you are already a star in all of our minds. This whole panel, Lon, you are a star. That rule does not apply to you.
Yeah, and our show, our the chat's not complete until Lon joins us, because he's always a wealth of information. I thank Lon every time he comes to the show. Hey, before we move to the next topic, I want to get a shameless plug in here for Captain Ray Kelly down there in sunny Florida. He's reminding everyone that there's only 40 days until the second annual South Florida Drone Meetup in Jensen Beach, Florida on April 2nd, 2022. And among the celebrity drone flyers that will be there will be the Idaho Quadcopter Channel, making his first appearance at the Florida Drone Meetup. Now, Marcus, people ask, how much are autographs? How much do you charge at your autograph booth?
Autographs are free. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pictures are $5.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, picture that's different.
And pictures, and that $5 is payable to DeMarco Moore.
Yes.
Hey,
I won't be there, but yes, please.
you got to pay for the GPC case somehow.
That's it.
They're
Let me tell you,
expensive.
a picture of me and Lon together, that's $100.
Wow.
We'll make that happen. Okay, so keeping the show going here. We got a lot of stories to hit with that drone. We got to save a lot of time for the Drone Master. Okay, next story up. I just posted this to the DroneNation Facebook page, but somebody had posted this. The kind of say this. I think I've got a rewrite, but somebody posted a couple days earlier too. Our friends over at DJI have just submitted whatever you call it, plans to the FCC database for an RC Plus controller, and this features a larger screen than the smart controller we currently have. And I have a couple notes here. Just came in too. It has an 8-core processor. It has a 7 kilometer range, KM range. I guess that's kilometer. It has a 7-inch touch display, a screen resolution of 1920 by 1200, and a battery lasts 3.3 hours. Again, this has already been submitted, filed to the FCC. So, do we have anybody know anything about this? Have any thoughts on it?
Well, I have a friend up in Canada that commented earlier that that says that it's a commercial product.
You mean for like what's the big drone that just
the Matrice or the if they ever come out with another Inspire, maybe, I don't know.
Okay. But it seems it got a lot of people excited because a lot of people want that bigger screen. We don't have a touch screen now, right? The current smart controller is not. I don't think it's touch screen.
The RC Pro? Surely it is, Ron.
Okay.
It
has to be.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't think it is. Probably because I have to touch it 5 times.
The only guy here that has one.
You know what I mean? You forget something on touch screen where you have to go like this 5 times and make something happen.
Yeah. Well, that was the old one for sure.
Hey, here I'll say this: if the RC Pro, when it first came out, was $1,100, how much you think that was going to be?
Well, if it's enterprise, you know what the price will be.
Okay.
Yeah, and Lauren is just talking about it in the chat right now.
Okay, I mean
the T40 and Inspire 3, he's saying so.
Okay, so none of us have those drones right now.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
So okay, well, if you want to read more of the news on this new controller, just pop over to DroneNation. I just posted it right before the show started. So okay, next thing here. Okay, I had a request from one of our loyal followers, Richard, I wrote it. One of our loyal subscribers, Richard, asked if anyone on the panel has heard any rumors concerning the DJI Air. I wrote 2S. I wrote it wrong here. Air 3S drone is what he's asking for. I wrote it down wrong as 2S, but he wants to know if anybody's heard any rumors on a 3S.
I mean, you never know, but obviously we're hearing tons of rumors about the Mini 3, and I think we can be fairly confident we're going to see a Mini 3 in the next month or two. But with regard to the Air series, I've heard absolutely nothing.
DeMarco, you hearing anything?
I've heard nothing. What makes me, I don't know, sort of wonder about that is we went so long between the Mavic Pro and the Mavic Pro 2, and then the Mavic Pro 2 to the Mavic 3, but the Mavic Air had about 2 years between it. Was it 2 years? But the Mavic Air 2 and the Air 2S came pretty quick.
Back to back, yeah. The Air 2, they came.
But then the Mavic Mini, the Mavic Mini 2, and the SE came quick too. So I mean, what is going on?
Yeah, that's true. I'm just looking at Lauren. He says, "Call me Schultz." I know nothing.
Hey, we can't do the old Schultz routine we did a couple weeks ago, but go.
So when it comes to the Mini 3, I got a question. You know, I see the Mini 3 talked about a lot. You know, on every program, lots of places. A lot of people almost talk like this thing exists like 100%. Like we know this thing exists. Have there been any rumors outside of just, you know, I get rumors are people talking.
Yeah,
like
I'll
actual
question,
leaks,
John.
like actual leak stuff.
Yeah, no, outside of the CEDALEV, you know, sometime in January, you know, put out a roadmap for DJI's releases for the year, and the Mini 3 was the first thing up, and then he had, you know, a mini FPV drone in the summer. He had an Inspire 3 in the fall, and in there he also had like an Osmo, you know, thing. So it was on his sheet, and since he put out that roadmap, all I've seen is people speculate based on his, you know, based on his roadmap. I don't see speculation coming from any other source outside.
Okay,
of that roadmap.
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Like, where's some of the speculation coming from? Because I missed that. I didn't realize that he had put out that roadmap. So people are going to be following that like a hawk.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think there's any other, you know, source, you know, besides that roadmap. You know, no leaked photos of any credibility.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
No specs outside of people guessing the specs, you know, but nothing firm. So here we go. Here's Lauren again. Rumors are scheduled for another 3 weeks. So
That's great.
yeah.
It's funny because Patrick and I were talking about this just last week. I think like that people talk about this Mini 3, like it for sure 100% is coming out and exists, and it would make total logical sense for them to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
the Mini's the next thing in line to have a refresh, and with 250 grams coming up for the manufacturers, and what is it, 2023? I mean, it'd be good to have a drone that comes out sooner rather than later to be on the up and up with all that. But
of course,
that if something's coming out in April, you would think we are already seeing, rumors. We're seeing
right, yeah,
release kind of ahead of the game. That's just typical DJI stuff.
Yeah, we're not in a typical. The world is not a DJI is not in a typical place in the world right now, though. So that's the other thing. That's the wild card.
And remember,
DJI just put down below, folks. Just saying.
Yeah, DJI caught everybody by surprise last year, guys. Nobody had any idea an Air 2S was coming until about a month before it hit. So, don't dismiss the fact that we haven't heard anything about the Mini 3. Not meaning it's coming. Things do happen. Even short notice from DJI. But to answer Richard's question, I haven't heard one thing about a Air 3S except people rating it here or there. Inspect like somebody's comment, but I haven't heard any real facts on Air 3S. So I'm not looking for one. We'll say in the first half of the year.
Do you guys think that there's a possibility that the Air 2 series or type of drone might just end up being retired, and the Mavic 3 is just going to be that above 250-gram drone that they sell, and for the consumer level they might just literally focus on the mini stuff, the under 250 grams?
Yeah, well, funny you say that, John. Lauren's been saying, he said it before in his chat, that the Mini 3 may just be the Air 2S may be inside the Mini 3, and that would make the most sense. If they could put all that in the mini body, they don't need an in-between drone anymore.
Right, and then don't have to deal with they don't have to deal with the remote ID and all that crap, and consumers can just buy that and be set.
That leads us all though into the talk. There's been so much talk about wind resistance and speed of these drones. And Ron and I were talking about this earlier today, and I was telling him how the Air 2S is just so incredible in the wind. I had it last summer in the Columbia River Basin, and I mean, it was so windy. I was getting all kinds of wind warnings and stuff, but you would have never known it flying the drone. The drone was just cutting through that wind like nothing. The Mavic 3 is even more powerful, but we also know that even the Mini 2, that's the best of the wind resistant drones, because it can get that 40-degree angle of attack into the wind, which really helps it out. It'll do that 40 degrees even in normal mode, as well as sport mode, and none of the other mini drones do that, and so they struggle a lot more. But even that Mini 2 is not even close. It's not even close to what the Air 2S can do in those kind of conditions. So that has got to be a consideration for people. I know it is for me. What about you guys?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, I mean the mini series is a great series though, but it's still on that borderline of toyish. I mean, I hate to say it like that though, but like if you showed up at a shoot with a mini, I mean, you're not gonna have a job
it doesn't look very good.
Show up with an Air 2 though, yeah.
Like our friend Stephen Sutton said the other day.
Yeah, so some would almost feel if you showed up with a Mavic-looking drone, period, it's not going to really impress. You got to have that Inspire too. You got to have a big drone because people want to see a big drone.
Yeah, yeah.
So you show up at the shoot and you got the Inspire sitting there, but as soon as the real estate agent or whatever, whoever's job, they drive away and leave, whatever, you get the Mini 2 out and do the job.
I guess the big question will be how much of a pain in the ass is the remote ID stuff going to be in the end? Because if let's say it's a huge pain in the ass, right? Then they might not want to bother with the Air 2 series of drone anymore, and they'll just leave that in the $3,000 category where they know the commercial guys, they gotta do it anyway if you're commercial. So they might just say, screw it, Mavic 3 is going to be our prosumer product, and we'll leave the Mini with no remote ID for everyone else, and that they might just keep that gap there. Who knows?
Yeah, that could be that. So here's where that problem would be for people like me, though, and Ron, and well, any of us that are Part 107, is that if you use a drone for Part 107 purposes, i.e., putting a video on YouTube,
Oh yeah,
it's required to have remote ID. So,
right.
you know, so then you put a module on the thing, and it's over 250. I mean, there's a lot there. So,
but at that point, though, I mean that okay, but DJI is going to be required to sell it with it in it. Whether you will not be able to buy a drone with no remote ID over 250 grams. That's going to be the big thing. I mean, what people do on the internet later on after the fact with that drone, what was their intentions at the time of the flight, all that other crap. That's a whole other story. But
well, sadly, it's spreading too, because I saw on the Calgary drone group earlier today that Lauren runs, there was a thread on there that they were taught there evidently, and Lauren, you chime in if there's anything more, but there's rumors now that Canada is going to institute some form of remote ID up there, which, they would hate that.
Laura makes a good point about the price gap that, because I see what Lauren's talking about. If they don't make a in-between price drone between the Mini and the Mavic 3, somebody else will come and just fill that price gap and take the sales from them.
it's a possibility. Unless the Mini 3 is priced like the Air 2 would be, and then fully loaded, and then the Mini SE is their true entry level, super cheap drone.
That's a good point too, John.
It's all just rumors.
Yeah, we've I talked about this before. I don't see them just leaving that $400 to $600 range, just leaving it. I mean, because why would you leave that? Why wouldn't you have like the Xeno has got a Xeno Pro and then a Xeno SE? Why wouldn't you just keep that? For people who don't need that.
I don't see them. I wouldn't see them leaving that range, but I mean, I could see a Mini 3 being pretty expensive on the level of, say, the Air 2, and no more Air C. I mean, I could see that happening. If remote ID is a huge pain in the ass, I mean, I think that'll have a lot to do with it.
Hey, I just thought of this. So if they stop making the Air 2S and the Air 2, and it's just the Mini 3 and the Mavic 3, but Autel is making their Lite, would you skip the one of those and just get the Lite then?
Here's what's funny about that, DeMarco, is the Lite is almost more comparable to the Mavic 3 than it is to the Air 2S.
As far as specs you're talking about, right? As far as specs.
And price point.
And price. And of course,
Mavic 3, you said the Mavic 3?
Yes.
Okay.
So kind of, I think it's kind of a little genius about what Autel did there, is that nobody can take their drones and directly compare them to the DJI drone. I mean, I see that Lite series is in between the Air 2S and the Mavic 3. What do you guys?
It's almost like a new category. It all Marcus makes a good point. It almost replaces the old slot that the Mavic 2 series used to have, that price point, one in sensor and so on. So it almost fills a gap that DJI kind of left unfilled when they did the dramatic price bump. They bumped the price point up about $700 from the Mavic 2 to the Mavic 3.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go, John. You pissed off Lon. You had to do it, didn't you?
I always do. Whenever I talk about DJI, Lon gets pissed off.
Lon started off as the DJI hater. He had all the other drones first, but he eventually saw the light.
I started off as a major DJI hater too. I mean, I did not want a Phantom. I absolutely did not want a Phantom. I didn't like the geofencing. I said I would never own a product that nannies me. I was a big Blade 350QX, a Horizon Hobby fanboy. I had 2 of their drones before I finally just gave up and got tired of all the nuances with those drones and got the Mavic Pro, and I was like, oh, I should have just done this a long time ago. I mean, event DJI wins in the end, so
Yeah.
Well,
that DJI fan, man, he's just could be a good DJI spokesperson. They've worked really hard on their lineup, guys. They've worked really hard.
They have, and I have to tell you, I really wanted to become a fan of Autel when I bought that Nano Plus, and it's really, honestly, they've had a little bit of the opposite effect on me because it's been, here's the thing, I didn't sign up to be a beta tester, and that's what I am with that drone, and I paid a lot of money for it.
Yep.
Which drone is that?
The Autel Evo Nano Plus.
Well, we're going to get to that story, but we made people wait too long. Before we get to the Nano, because the Nano story never ends, let's get to the main event of the night, the DroneMask.
The DroneMask.
We've already mentioned that Marcus and John and Patrick have all made videos on this. Here, Marcus is modeling, and Patrick has a nice box there for you to see. So, okay. Marcus, you did a little bit of a summary on it, but let's ask one of the key questions first, because John brought this up. Marcus, you may mention this video, but John said at the beginning of his video, it's kind of stuck a little more. What is the price of these goggles?
$169.
And I think John pointed out that they have no receiver or kind of no smarts in them all. They're basically just a phone holder. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
There's no electronics at all in this thing. They Patrick, tell them what they don't even include. They don't even include the damn cable.
Nope.
You get
The cable that goes from the phone to the thing. You need a long cable, and they don't even include that. So there's no electronics included with this.
right. And it's really easy to put the phone in there. That's one thing they did good.
Mm-hmm.
And then this little door, right, that you see right here, you
We
can
didn't get
pull
to use
that up and you can see out of it with your camera if you want. Which I'm not exactly sure about that. And then just kind of give people a rundown. Then this is adjustable here. You unlock this thing, and I can't remember what position I have it in and whether I can pull it out or not. Mine's really stiff. I don't know about yours, Patrick. It's really hard.
I don't think we
pull
adjusted it.
Yeah.
Did we? Was yours stiff? Because I didn't change it. I didn't need to.
I like to
Calm
see
down,
that.
DeMarco. DeMarco, you calm down.
Hey, Patrick started laughing first.
Oh,
How stiff is yours?
Watch how I'm going to get demonetized tonight. Hey, Marcus, DeMarco asked a key question in the pre-show, whatever. He asked you about how does it split the view for you, because most times when you get a pair of VR goggles, we'll call them, for your drone, you need an app that splits the thing for you in the app. How do you do it without having an app?
it doesn't split it. And I'm
doesn't.
trying to show you the lens there, and you can see how the lens is bifurcated. And so you really need, and that's the problem that both Patrick and I ran into, is you really need both of your eyes to make that work, your eyes working together. And Patrick and I both have an issue with that. And it just really didn't work for either one of us. And I'll let Patrick talk about your part of it.
Well, for me, I'm completely sightless in my left eye. So about the bridge of my nose is where I lost most of my view. The lower left corner, essentially, I could see none of the telemetry. So I couldn't tell how high I was. I couldn't tell my attitude. I couldn't see the map. I couldn't fly safely, what I figured would be safely without seeing those bits of information. So for me, that was I really wanted this to work because, John's got me into the FPV arena, and we found a set of goggles that actually works for me on that perspective. But I really wanted these to work because I typically fly my camper drones more, and it would have been nice just to be able to see the screen in the summertime and not having it dim out on you when it gets warm, or just be unable to see it in direct sunlight. So I was really hoping this would work, and it just isn't gonna. And
yeah, I want to emphasize that, man. You have those eSheen EV800 box goggles that I recommended, so you could do FPV with your Tiny Hawk, and you even use the Tiny Hawk Ready to Fly kit goggles when we flew together, and those crappy goggles worked fine for you, but these failed. I mean, so that's 2 box goggles that did work for you. So it's not just that your face doesn't work with box goggles. It does. It doesn't work with these.
Right, and just a little bit, maybe just a little bit of a redesign would help. But I'm like Marcus. It felt front heavy, so it always felt like I wanted to pull my head down when I had them on. So it would be one of those things where you have to sit anyway to fly. And the other thing that really kind of bothered me, I guess just from a comfort perspective, was the bridge of the nose. It was really tight across the bridge of the nose, and it felt like I was like somebody closed off my nose and I was talking out of my mouth like Charlie Brown's teacher. Sounded like I had a cold. And
that's exacerbated. I had the same issue, and that's exacerbated by the fact that you put your phone in the very end of this. So then, and plus you've got it adjusted out. So there's a lot of leverage of that thing coming down right on the bridge of your nose.
Well, and John and I were talking a little later about some of the things that, you saw some of the issues we ran into, and you kind of did the same thing, Mark, where, you got them on, you got ready to fly, and then you got a message. You can't do anything but take them off, unzip it, fix the message, or fix what's going on with the drone, and then put them back on. So it can be kind of disconcerting to use if you've got things that you have to touch on the screen.
Yeah, well, talk about more in detail. Both of your videos, you guys had to repeatedly take the goggles off or the phone out of the goggles to basically cancel an alert. John, you had a propeller alert that pop up that you kept having to okay or whatever. So I mean, it was kind of it looked frustrating.
Yeah, we actually needed to unzip it 3 times. The first time was for the propeller check. The second time was for the geo zone warning, and then the third time was for the geo zone warning again, because after we cleared the first warning, I had disarmed the quad, and then I went to rearm it again, and then it came up. So I mean, that he had to clear it while it was running. That was the solution.
And here's the dangerous thing about that is as I was landing, I had a dialog box come up that covered the whole flipping screen, as I was landing the drone. And so that, that's a problem. And maybe if they built a little door in the bottom where you could reach in or something, but even that would be awkward. So it's just a big issue. The other thing that I want to bring up is it's also, you need to it takes a lot more gear to do this. You need a table in front of you that you can set things down, because often it takes 2 hands. So you have to set it down. You got to set your controller down. So you're messing around. You got to have someplace that you can set things on while you're getting it all hooked up. Not to mention that big cable that's coming from the goggles to your controller.
That's a good point. We were doing it on his truck. We used the tailgate of his truck. Yeah, we needed to put the stuff down.
Let's address the other elephant in the room, and that's you've got a set of goggles on. You need to have a spotter.
That's very true. Yep.
So luckily, John and I, while he was flying, I was watching him buzz around, and vice versa when we switched the goggles. And we know people are going to fly without a spotter. We just know it's what we do. But safely, you need to have someone to kind of look over your shoulder to kind of make sure that you're not flying into somewhere you're not supposed to when you got those on your head. So, that's another, I guess, safety factor that kind of makes them a little difficult to keep as well. And and I've already started the return process. And let me tell you, the return process is they guarantee them, give your money back within 30 days. But they want me to ship it back to Norway. So I kind of ran the numbers on shipping the DroneMask back to Norway. Well, it cost probably $60 to $70 more than I paid for the goggles.
I mean, and that's just such crap, isn't it? I know that is a bunch of baloney. And I'm glad you brought that up, because people need to know that. They need to know that.
they did offer a solution. They also said, well, we'll fund 50% of the cost immediately, and you can just keep the mask. And then I could sell the mask and recoup what I didn't, what I didn't get back, or I could just eat it and live with it.
Okay, there's the flip side of the coin we need to talk about, though. The flip side of the coin is our friend Matty's Drone World. Yeah. He has a set that he won, and he flies his Air 2S, and he flipping loves them. He uses them and loves them.
Oh yeah, when I was wearing mine, I liked what I could see. It was fantastic. The view was spectacular, but Matty's flying with two eyes, and he can see the entire screen, and he gets a much larger view than my cutoff view on the left hand side. So they'll definitely work for folks without vision issues. But for us who have some vision problems, it's not something that I think is a good solution for us.
Yeah, see, I have no vision issues like you guys do, and I flew it. I guess I'll be a little positive about it. It was cool. It was a very immersive experience to be able to fly a DJI quad. I mean, once we got past all the stupid menus and everything else, it was cool. But that being said, to think about using those goggles to do any serious camera work with the drone, I think it would be difficult. Yeah. You can't get to anything in the app
to change your settings on your camera, so forth.
Yeah, you're limited to whatever you can program on the buttons, and it's very limited. So I don't view it as a product that you could do anything really serious with. It's because you solve one problem of not being able to see the phone screen in the sun, and it does that very well. I mean, that's awesome. But then it creates the other problems.
Here's a caveat: is that no one has used these things, or I haven't seen a single review with these things being used in the summertime where it's hot, and those things are phones in a black case soaking up heat, and there's no way for that thing to breathe. Yeah. So I'm assuming that it's going to happen the same way it does when we're just flying out there normally. It's going to overheat. Yeah. It's going to dim the screen. You're still not going to be able to see what you need to see, and it's going to be fairly useless. So
yeah, Matty's right. Matty was saying it's a novelty item. Yeah, I mean, look, it's $170 for it, and then you need to spend another $10-15 for the damn cables for it. It's a lot of money to spend for the experience that you get. And even me, like I said, I could see everything just fine. That wasn't an issue. I would not pay close to $200 to get all set up with that thing. To me, it's just not worth it.
Well, before we move on, I have an announcement to make. So when DroneMask people contacted me and wanted me to review them, I said, well, that'd be great, but send me two sets. And there was method to my madness. So I'm going to announce right here and now, this is a brand new in the box DroneMask that I am going to send to Ray Kelly to give away at the South Florida Drone Meetup. So Ray, we'll put that in a box and get it off to you. And that's one more thing that you can use for a giveaway at the South Florida Drone Meetup. That's a good one.
Very cool. Very nice. Hey, totally worth having for free. I mean, absolutely
will enjoy the crap out of them. They are enjoyable. Don't get me wrong. It's just they don't work for me, and I really want them to work. I can't emphasize how much I really wanted those to work for me, and they just don't. And I'm disappointed and feel a little stupid now that I dropped $170 on a mask I can't use, and now I can't get back.
Yeah, I guess that's the buyer beware, right? It's not easy to return. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy return.
You have to go when you order from these overseas companies. You have to go in with the knowledge that you're probably going to have to pay a very high cost of shipping to return the product, if they will even return the product. And skipping to goggles in general, and maybe John can speak a little bit. The fit and finish of goggles is a very personal thing, more so than anything about the drone world. I know people have their preferences about the weight or size of the controller, or size of the drone, but nothing is more or I don't know, what's the word I want to looking for? The goggles are that it really is something that could vary from person to person.
Yes, it's very hit or miss, right? They say before buying any FPV goggles, try to see if you can find somebody locally to give their pair a check on your eyes, because you might have a set that works absolutely great for you, and you might also have a set that works horrible for you. So, you could save yourself a lot of time and money by trying goggles. Just, you gotta, it's not always easy to find your nearest FPV flyer. Hey, can I try your goggles? Especially over the last 2 years, that's not really been a thing you would want to do.
I guess I can't complain too much. I've pissed away a lot more money for something like a Xeno Pro,
Oh boy, don't go there.
That's not an excuse for a bad product, though. I mean, let's be honest. This DroneMask thing is just not a good product for the price, guys.
It doesn't hurt that bad.
It's just not a good product. I mean,
what if it was $70?
Maybe,
if
but
it was
$60,
$70, yeah, it would be all right.
What I'm grateful for is that Patrick brought up the issue about the return policy, because that really is a bunch of crap. What that tells you is they are not standing behind their product. There are companies, and this applies to the things that you ship back to China and everything else. There are companies right here in the United States that deal with OS&D, overstock and damage, for foreign companies. That's what they do for a living, and they could do that, but they chose not to.
Yep.
And therefore, it was a way for them. Patrick, I guarantee you, what's their cost to these things? So they've made money on you no matter what. Even giving you those goggles, or for 50% back, they're still making money, and that really gripes me. I'll be honest with you.
Well, and here's the thing, Marcus. When I first saw these things got released months ago, they were initially only $129. So, the price shot up, $40 between, in a few months' time, I guess, because people started getting them and reviewing them, and they started getting popular, maybe. But yeah, the price shot up, because I actually had the link saved for it, and they were $129. I thought, okay, that's doable. I won't be as disappointed if they don't work, but I don't know why that $40 is that one that grinds my gears so much, but it is. But I already have somebody interested in them, so I get my 50% back. Maybe I can make up the rest and at least make it a wash. But even if I don't, even if they aren't interested in them, I'll find somebody that will.
It's sad though, because what pisses me off is, like Marcus says, they're not really standing behind the product. You have a physical issue where you genuinely can't use it. You've tried other box goggles, and you can use other box goggles, okay? But you can't use this. And they won't just say, we're really sorry, we're just gonna give you your money back, and we'll take it back. We'll make it right because you tried it and it didn't work out. Instead, you're kind of having to figure out how to recoup it on your own, and that sucks. Yeah, that just sucks.
Hey, John, speaking to your point about them not being worth it, I mean, a couple years back, I bought a cheap pair of $10 VR goggles. This is for the DJI Spark, and I bought the Litchi app. It was $20, so I got $30 invested. And what the Litchi app did is split it for you in the screen, so you could just put your phone in these cheap $10 VR goggles. I got it like Walmart or someplace with a Litchi app, and I could do this without spending $169.
Yeah, I bet
someone pointed that out. Yeah.
Well, Parrot was famous for that. You remember, you could buy the Parrot. Not the Anafi. What's the one before that? The Bebop. They had a package that you could buy that you had goggles that you put your phone in.
And remember, the Anafi app actually split it. You didn't have to get a third party app. The Anafi app split it for you. So all you need was a $10 pair of VR goggles.
I still have the Anafi, Ron.
Me too.
Ooh, I better try that out.
Hey, in fact, it's funny you guys said that though. The same thing happened to me
Yeah.
on the old Autel Evo app, the Explorer app had a feature in there where you could use goggles and it would separate the app to two screens.
Yep.
So I bought a cheap pair of goggles and put them in, and it was a waste. I think
Yeah,
once
no,
I
I
tried
I
it.
can see that these Drone Masters, they're a deluxe package. They're much better than the $10 VR goggles I
They
bought
are.
at Walmart, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the strap and the keeping it dark inside. I can see they're a deluxe package.
But they're not $170 better.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the
especially for
thing.
an
They're
item,
not
especially for
$170 better.
yeah, and especially for an item that you're not going to use that all the time. If you were going to use it every single day, it's a different story than
Right.
use it once in a blue moon.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's no surprise. It's no surprise that when you buy it, your phone is zipped up in the thing. You're not going to be able to get to it, right? That's not a secret. So you know that buying it.
Except for that, what I thought that there would be a door under here.
You know, they really should have done something. They really should have done something to address that. I thought that was a cool suggestion. Having
Maybe
some
we're
kind of
seeing
door that
Model
maybe you
1.
could put your fingers up into.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we're seeing Model 1 of this, and version 2 will be a better design with that taken into account.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, we don't know where this is going.
The door upgrade will probably make them $250. So, I mean,
like buying a steering wheel for a BMW.
yeah, I mean, with the way that, I mean, the price of these things are going up all the time. Who the hell knows? Maybe buy low and sell high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have we beat that to death, Ron?
Has everybody got their point out? Is there any more questions to chat about the Drone Masters, or I think we've kind of made all the points. Yeah, I guess the sum it all up, if you wear glasses, you don't have the best vision. Either one, you could have an issue with these. I think both everybody agree that they're a little. Well, John, you didn't say anything. You wear goggles more than the rest of us. So, did you find that they were heavy on your bridge of your nose, or?
Yeah, yes, I did. With a phone in there, they're heavy on your nose. But I will say this: wearing a baseball cap with them helped me out a lot with that. There was just something about having the cap on and then being able to push it back over. It helped kind of stabilize it so it wasn't sitting too hard on my nose. But yes, I tried putting it on with no baseball cap on, and it was very uncomfortable. It went from being very uncomfortable to just moderately uncomfortable. But I wear glasses. I am blind as a bat. I can hardly see much of anything without these damn glasses on, and they did work visually. They worked just fine for me, so I can't complain about that. Glasses also fit comfortably in the thing. Like, there wasn't any fidgeting around with the foam or nothing. Like, that all worked for me. It's just, I guess I'm more stuck on the price than anything, man.
Yeah.
I just can't believe when he told me they were $170. I'm like, freaking kidding me? You gotta be kidding.
Yeah. I mean, like probably your first pair of Fat Sharks were a whole lot more than that, right?
Yeah, dude, you could buy, off the top of my head right now, you could buy Shark Bite digital goggles for $250, okay? Box goggles. These are $180 and they got nothing in them. It's just insane to me.
Not even the cord.
Not even the cord. They don't even have the frigging cord. I mean, come on. It literally says on the box.
Hey, I hate to say it,
cord
but
required.
I'm having flashbacks of the FT Aviator.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh God! Let's not go there.
You should do both. You should have the goggles and that thing.
And the FT Aviator. Oh my God. Well, for one thing, it'd take you an hour and a half to get set up to fly, and the battery'd be dead on your drone by the time you got ready to take off.
And you have so many wires running around, you could probably tie yourself in knots.
Yeah.
You know, the FT Aviator, I guess, kind of eventually came to fruition from DJI with the DJI FPV drone. I mean, I tell you what, I've flown the DJI FPV drone with the wand, and it's a cool experience. I mean, it's a cool experience. It does not make me want to replace it with a controller, though. That I had a feeling that was not going to make me want to fly with that thing all the time. Why would they send a cord? Because it's unlikely that you will have a cord that's long enough to connect from your phone to the transmitter. I mean,
and they would need to include 3, right? They would need to include the USB-C to USB-C, and then they need to include USB-C to Lightning, and then I guess, and then probably a micro USB as well, right?
Yeah. And then lots
they
of these
could just
companies
let you choose what cord you need when you order.
But the problem is a lot of these companies said the cords are no good. You have to go get one anyways.
God, I'm having
For $170, they should be able to give you a quality cord.
Just hold it like this, hold your phone up and fly.
Yeah, you can do that.
What would the price be if they had to send the 3 cords?
That's funny you say that.
Oh God, you're looking at three.
Yeah,
you're gonna be looking at $300 with the right cords.
I'm sitting here like a moron going, trying to test it out because I didn't have a cord long enough.
I'm sorry, guys. It just blows my mind to see that that's what they wanted for those things. I mean, it's just
hey,
blows
we
my
beat
mind.
this to death, Ron. We need to move on.
Let's move on to one of our
chat's gonna get pissed.
Let's move on to one of our another favorite whipping boy around here. Well, I'm gonna plug our good friend Sean over at Air Photography. He just released his Autel Lite Plus review. He says not a review. He says it's another name he has for him. You don't like the word review, but it's worth checking out his video if you're thinking about purchasing the Lite drone. He really does a nice job with the review. But okay,
best I've seen, the very best that there is out there is his review.
Yes. I mean, very, very recommended seeing if you're thinking about getting a Lite drone. But okay, we always throw this at Marcus because he has a drone and he's gone through a lot. I mean, Marcus has really kind of towed the line on this drone from the very beginning. He got it with high hopes, and it's kind of disappointed him almost at every stage. But we want to ask you, Marcus. It seems like they throw a firmware update out every time I turn around. But has there been any updates for the Autel Nano Plus drone? And more importantly, is there any progress in fixing the 2 big issues with this drone? That would be the jello and the slow speed and bad performance in the wind.
Yes, they've made a lot of progress. So I will give them that. They definitely have made progress. It is far from being completely cured yet, like you would expect from a DJI product. So,
and let me stop you just for a second. What is the new price of that drone?
$1,100.
And I'm talking base package. Basically,
the $950.
Okay, yeah. I thought I said today it was $949 or
$949.
It basically went up $150 since launch. Okay, all right.
It did. Yep.
I just want to stop that kind of helps kind of put this all in preference because we talked about the price of the DroneMask. So we're talking about if you bought this drone today, a $950 drone with a controller and a battery.
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, and that's all it is a controller and a battery. You spend that extra $150 if you're going to buy one and get the premium package, as they call it. However,
now you can't afford the DroneMask with that price increase.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
God, everything's going up all over the place.
It is no doubt about it. And anyway, the drone. Obviously, I had high hopes for it. First time I'd ever purchased an Autel drone, I really wanted it to be a great experience, and it has not been. I've essentially been a beta tester for Autel, and it originally had a ton of jello in it, speed issues. Any wind would almost bring it to a stop, and then I had obstacle avoidance issues. I had problems with it writing to the SD card where the drone, if you used zoom, as soon as you zoom back out, it would quit writing to the SD card. You didn't know it, though, because the app still told you that you were recording. So you had no idea that happened until you tried to download the output off of the micro SD card. So they've essentially worked on all of that stuff. They fixed that issue with the writing to the SD card. This new one that they sent me, the obstacle avoidance on it is perfect, works great. With regard to the jello, it's been largely improved. but it is not perfect. And if you look at my videos, you will still see some shakes in even the latest videos that I made with it. And what's a bummer about that is, if DJI did something like that, people would be going flipping crazy. But it's weird how these companies kind of get away with it, and they still have people that kind of defend that. But then the other issue, the speed thing, I think is people they've largely fixed it. Number one. Number two, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. This is a mini drone, and it's never going to fly like your Mavic 3. However, the big difference is that they have that thing designed because of the way the gimbal is. It will only pitch at a 30-degree angle, as opposed to your Mini 2 that will pitch at a 40-degree angle. And that's DJI's magic with that gimbal. And that's why the Mini 2 is much better in the wind and has a little bit more speed. That said, with the improvements that they've made to it recently with firmware, I think the speed thing is a little bit of an overblown issue. I think you could live with that. Now, the shakes in the video are the one thing for me, it's just unforgivable, because the whole reason you buy a GPS camera drone is for good quality, steady video. And if you can't always get it, what's the point?
Yep.
So right now at this point, if you have a friend that came to you, like say me or DeMarco or John and Patrick, we said, should we lay out $950 for the Nano Plus drone?
Absolutely not. Buy the Air 2S if you're not stuck on buying a sub 250 gram drone. Buy the Air 2S.
If you are stuck on buying a 250 gram.
Yeah.
No. Oh, if you're not, buy the Air.
If you are stuck on buying a sub 250 gram drone, the Mini 2, absolutely, unequivocally, the Mini 2 is still the best sub 250 drone there is, period, end of report.
Because it doesn't matter how good the camera is on a drone if you got jello. Is that basically the point?
That's it. It flies better. It's more powerful. It doesn't have tracking, which a lot of people get stuck on tracking. However,
and the Lite promises to have active tracking, even though
the Nano Plus promises to have it, but it doesn't have it yet. So we don't know how that's going to work. Now, the other thing that people talk about is the OA, the obstacle avoidance. And I can say it works well on the Nano. Sometimes on a sub 250 gram drone, I'm wondering if that's really necessary. But if you want it, you'd have to buy the Nano. But for my money, if somebody wants sub 250, for sure the Mini 2. I
got something for John here. I've watched a lot of Marcus's videos and other people's videos on the Nano Plus Heinrichs, and when it gets caught in the wind and it barely moves sometimes, even in sport mode. John, my Bugs 3 from 2018 can fly better in the wind than the Nano Plus can.
Well, it's a bigger drone as well, Ron. I mean, the Bugs is a pretty big drone. At
the time, though, the Bugs was thought of as being a small drone.
That's true. It's amazing how things have changed. I'm going to say this about the Nano Plus. I was actually excited for Autel's step into the mini drone category. I was seriously thinking of buying it. And ever since seeing, the price going up, and then all the issues that Marcus has had, all the issues that everyone has had with it, I know they're making their way through it. But even if they fixed all the issues today, right here, right now, I would still not touch that drone for probably 6 months, because here's what bothers me. Obviously, they did not test it very well, or maybe at all. So what scares me is, what other issues might that drone have in it that will crop up 6 months from now when, oh, hey, it looks like this motor pod is stress cracking. I mean, we've seen stuff like that happen before, okay, over time.
And you're leaving one thing out, John. They introduced us to this drone in September of last year, and they had of those months before they shipped it to get it right, and they didn't.
And they didn't. So it really doesn't bode well for the long-term lifespan of the product. And, you know, Autel has, in my opinion, Autel has not necessarily been the best with lifespan of a product. The X-Star Premium is a good example. This goes way back, okay? It took them forever to update the firmware on there to fix some kind of yaw issues. Only maybe some people who've been following Autel for a long time will remember that. The batteries on those things were never, that whole saga really never got solved. And the XSP was going to be a drone that you kept for a long time, and you'd swap a new camera in and you'd be good to go. And then they kind of expired it out. I know that things changed. Things have changed rapidly in the drone world, but given the fact that this product was announced in September, like you said, and now here we are, it's February, and it's still not working at 100%, and the price is increased, forget it. I wouldn't want to play the beta tester. I wouldn't want to be the one to find out that there's some other weird engineering problem in the damn thing 6 months down the line that now you're running into because they didn't friggin' test it.
There you go. Talk a little bit about the whole dampener issue. At one point, for a couple days, they were telling people at the help desk, this is Autel themselves, not Autel Pilots, that was an issue with the dampeners, and it actually sent Marcus out a replacement drone with improved dampeners. But then they did a complete 360 and turned around and stopped telling people that on customer service. Now they're saying it can all be fixed through firmware. So can you go into that a little bit, Marcus?
Yeah. So when I had the problem, well, in fact, to Autel's credit, they got a hold of me through my email on my YouTube channel, and they said, "Hey, listen, Marcus, we think here's what's going on. You have the early version," and they showed. I put that picture in the video that showed how the gimbal isolators were mounted, and they said, "Well, that's wrong. They needed to be this other way." Okay, awesome. That makes sense. That sounds good to me. And then, I called my friend Johnny Drone Flyer because he had one and had some issues with Jello. He called them up. They immediately said, "Yeah, send us back the drone." They sent him a shipping label, and they said, "We're going to put the new isolators on it and ship it back to you." But not just a few days later, I started getting comments from people watching my video that said, "You know what? Autel's not telling me that. They're telling me now that it's just a software issue, and they're going to issue an update this week that's going to fix it." Well, I can tell you this. My drone not only has the new isolators on it, it also has the new software, and there's still some shake in the video. So take that for what it's worth. And Patrick, you were going to say something. You got cut off.
It's just Autel's one of those companies that if you thought anybody could play in the sub 250 market, it would have been them. Mm-hmm. We've already seen, Hubsan crash and burn. We've already seen Femi crash and burn.
Oh, God, don't get me started on the Femi Mini.
You would have thought that Autel would have done their homework and got this right. Now, it looks like they might have gotten it closer to right with the Lite Plus, but the Nano Plus, and has anybody even bought a Nano? I mean, criminy, I haven't even seen a single video on a Nano.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, both of them swung and missed on the same pitch. They were reaching too far.
Yep.
And it's priced too high on both of them for what you're getting.
You're referring to Hubsan as well, DeMarco?
Hubsan, well, but not the female, of course, but Hubsan and Autel. Yeah, same thing.
So let me run this by you. So with all you guys, so I think we've almost seen them go backwards a little bit, because if I look at the original Hubsan Xeno, and I know it had a rough start, but they refined it to where, hey, it was pretty good after a while. And then the Xeno 2 Plus, I still like flying that drone. It's a nice flying drone, puts out good video. Things seem to work okay on it. But now it seems like everything they've done since then, and then the same thing with Femi. I have the X8 SE 2018 version. For me, the 2020 version was worse. And then when they came out with the Mini, it was even worse yet. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got a 2018 and a 2020 X8 SE, And the camera, for me, the camera's better on the 2018 than it is on the 2020, but I've got some sort of gain jitter in the camera on the 2018 that gives it sort of jello appearance.
Oh, geez.
You know, I finally got the 2020 to fly, but I still hate the video. I'm with you. I love my Xeno 2 Plus. I haven't sold it yet. My Xeno Pro, which I've nicknamed Monkey Bat because it's just ugly and never doesn't fly well. You know, they just languish on the shelf back here behind me.
Yeah, you don't fly them, sure.
No, you know, if they don't look good on camera, it's not worth taking it out of the bag.
Oh. What about this, Marcus? What if your Nano there, your Nano Plus, what if all those issues were fixed? Would you still recommend it? Not recommend it, sorry.
Well, so the only caveat I would put on it then is the price.
Yeah.
But other than that, let me tell you, especially flying it back to back with the Xeno Mini Pro the other day, I took them both with me out to the Snake River Canyon, flew them back to back. Oh my God, was it refreshing to fly that Autel after I'd been flying the Xeno Mini Pro. I mean, the little Xeno, I was having disconnection issues and everything else. You know, I mean, it was just well, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. And whereas the Nano, I actually had a pretty good flight with it. So you know, if they fixed all those issues, particularly if you're looking for those features and you're willing to pay that kind of money, yeah, I think. Well, let me say this: the camera on that Nano Plus is amazing. When it's working good and you don't have the shakes, it is a phenomenal camera on that little drone.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Sure. I guess go. I guess we'll know more about the pricing of the Evo of the Nano Lite Plus. How if the price is good or not when the Mini 3 comes out.
I'll bet you the Mini 3 will be $300 cheaper. How much you want to bet?
Then that's going to point out like an overpricing issue. But if it's within $100, then maybe that is the price nowadays.
I'll bet you. Well, Lauren already said it, but I'll bet you the base price is $650, and I'll bet you the Fly More is $800. I'm just saying that right now.
Right.
So since we were talking about epic fails before, is anybody here going to get that Hubsan Xeno Ace Mavic first generation clone?
Yes.
Are they sending you one, or are you buying it?
Yes.
Not a chance. No.
Patrick, did you hear my new philosophy on like the drones from Hubsan and Fimi and the likes? I will not purchase them until they're available to be bought on like Amazon.com, because then if I get it and it is a POS, I can just send it right back to an American warehouse for free.
Thank God every day that I bought the Fimi Mini from B&H Photo and Video and got my $400 back. So that's a good strategy.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of the Fimi Mini, John, did you see our good friend Brian Singleton? He discovered you could fly the Fimi Mini without the app, without using the phone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You can just take it off with the controller and fly around, which may have been the best way. Maybe I'd have kept it if I knew that. May have been the best way to fly it.
Yeah, because then you can't see what the camera's doing with the crooked ass freaking horizon.
Hey, listen, I'm going to stop both of you guys right there. I'm going to stop you both right there. The fourth one that they sent me, is actually a pretty good drone. It flies pretty good. And in fact, it is the most powerful of the mini drones.
I'm sure it is. I mean, I'm sure some poor person at Fimi had their ass burnt for sending a YouTuber, very popular YouTuber, famous YouTuber, 3 bad Fimi Mini drones to get that. So someone's ass is probably very red before you got that drone.
Are you saying, John, that it could have been a curated product?
Oh,
Yes.
I mean,
I believe you, Marcus, but I don't believe that statement.
And Brian Singleton, he didn't buy his until it was out for 6 months, so he got a good one too. But maybe it's another policy to follow. Don't order any of these products from these guys right away. If you have any chance of getting one at all, wait like 6 months to get like a third or fourth generation one.
That
Hey,
pretty
and
much
our
goes for
friend-
any manufacturer. Yeah.
Our friend Ryan Duvall, though, his was first generation, right, John? And,
Mhm.
and his seems to be pretty good. And so it's kind of the luck of the draw. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it
there-
seems to be pretty good.
it seems like there's more people drew the short stick than they did the long stick.
No question
Last
about
year it was
that, Ron.
bad. Yeah, last year it was bad. I remember going to everybody's Femi Mini videos and realizing that we all got turds except for Ryan maybe got a decent one, and then a few other people. But for the most part, it was a bad straw poll.
Ali Shama, World Explorer over there in China, they always get good ones of all these drones.
Oh yeah.
John-
John was at the point where he was wishing for some hillbilly to shoot his drone out of the sky.
Would have made for an interesting video.
Hey, and you know what? Even if he shot out of the sky, it wouldn't affect the gimbal performance at all.
Nope. Not one bit.
Uh,
Oh
Gimbal probably
man.
straighten up. Oh.
I gave that thing a really good try. I was on the floor lining it up with the molding, doing a manual gimbal. I gave that thing a good try, man. It wasn't gonna work. I still think it's funny that whatever was in the lens, the contamination in the lens, just disappeared somewhere in there. I wonder if they ever refurbished that or what. I wonder whatever happened to my little
who
Femi
knows,
Mini.
John? It could be the one that they sent me.
I've thought about that. When the supply was low, I thought, could they have taken one in and shipped one out?
Yeah, come by, if John, they just reroute to another customer,
Because yours had crappy range. The first one, I think, right? Really bad range,
That
right?
was,
The
that was
disconnects.
actually. Let me think about this. That was the second one that I couldn't fly at 100 feet in front of me and it would lose connection. And then then they just sent me a replacement. They didn't even ask for that one back. They said, "We'll just send you another one." And the next one I had, the gimbal would just go crazy. The gimbal would just give up after a while and start flopping around. And then the fourth one is the one that actually worked.
What do you guys think about Femi and Femi drones in general? Are you guys done with Femi, period? Because I feel like the Mini was their last chance to really make a good impression. It was supposed to be an all new team, an all new program, all new everything. And
well,
then,
John, it's funny you should say that. Our friend Gorilla Man got the Femi X8 2022, and in his first flight out in the snow and real cold conditions, he had a perfect flight.
Yeah.
Gorilla Man likes to torture himself and buy and fly these Femi products. So, I'm not surprised that he got it.
It's $450 for that 2022 version on Banggood right now, which to me seems like a pretty good price for a 4K drone. And the camera is supposed to be pretty good. I don't know. I've got my reservations, just like Patrick. We had high hopes for the 2020 version, and it didn't pan out. So the short version is, John, no, I wouldn't buy one. Now, if they sent me one for a review, that would be one thing, but I don't think I'd buy one. If it was on sale for $300 or something, yeah, maybe I would. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, and I love the way the Femi flies. There's no complaints from a control perspective. For either the 2018 or the 2020, it's just that damn camera. I want to just fly it in. I want to kamikaze it into the river.
No, totally on board with you, Patrick. I totally agree with you 100%. The thing flies great. It's a great flying drone. I enjoy flying.
Rain too. Don't it, John?
I think a lot of people are in Maddie's position though, where they've been through, a series of Femis and they're just done. They're done with the brand. They're not gonna roll the dice and take a chance on it. And I kind of saw how, man, the interest in the Femi Mini after it came out, it really tapered off quickly, especially with the Hubson Mini coming out and everything else. But Femi had a chance to impress that little short window of time, and then.
Let me
John,
give you a better.
I'll answer your question about the Femi. I wouldn't purchase the Femi drone, at launch or anytime early. I'd have to be out. I'd have to see everybody's reviews, like Marcus' review, and I'd have to have a whole bunch of people tell me it's a good drone, it's much improved, and then wait until it's on Amazon.
So you won't try it. You definitely won't run out to buy another Femi like you guys have in the past.
No, never.
You guys
never,
are done with that.
Never. Not even Hubson. The Hubson Femi, I will not buy them at pre-launch or launch date. I won't buy them from Banggood or AliExpress or anything like that. So I only buy them when they've been reviewed, and if they're on Amazon.
Smart.
John, I tell you, I'm probably the person who flies the least here, and I have moved on from that long. Yeah, I would buy a Bugs drone first before I bought that.
The Bugs drone would work as expected. That's the thing, man. It would work as expected.
But here's what I mean by that. Like, I'm not buying a Femi to get good video. I mean, I get that already. I would buy a Bugs drone. Well, I want something different. I want to fly fast at 30 feet off the ground. That's something different though. But I'm not buying a Femi for that.
I got a question for you, DeMarco. Would you buy a Bugs RC car? An MJX Bugs RC car, would you?
How much is it?
I have no idea. I can't find them anywhere for sale.
I would buy it for my 5-year-old probably. Yeah. Well, I guess I could. $70. Yeah, I'd buy it for.
The Bugs drones were so big not that long ago. I remember that was so cool. A $99 brushless drone. You take a GoPro, put it on it, and you were taking a video. That was amazing for the time.
Yeah.
Their latest Bugs drone has the best under $200 camera that I've seen on a drone. It actually has a pretty decent camera on it. And I'm not saying it's DJI quality, but you know what? There's no shakes in the flipping video, and it's a nice, it's got a nice stable horizon. The flight controls were pretty wonky on it. It didn't fly that great, and I can't remember which Bugs version it is. I reviewed it. You're gonna have to go through all my videos to find that one. But anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris's comment in the chat, he said they changed their name from DroneNation for a reason. And when we were DroneNation, the original Hubson Xeno was $299 when it first came out. It was the only affordable 3-axis camera drone you could buy. The next drone up was, like a DJI drone costing double, triple that price. So now, luckily, the market has changed. Now, for whatever the price of the DJI Mini SE, $299, Marcus.
$299 for the DJI Mini SE.
And there are other minis now. You can get an affordable 3-axis camera drone. You can get a multiple choice of them in the under $500 range. So we didn't really have to promote one drone as the only good sub $1,000 camera drone. The market has changed drastically since the Xeno drone came out. So that's a good thing.
That's true. Well, it is kind of sad though that if you look at where the $150 to $200 level is, if we don't include the Mini SE, it's sad. Like, it's really kind of sad what goes on in that price point. When it would have been cool if by now a Femi 2018 were to cost, like, I know I'm dreaming, but if you'd asked me what Femi 2018 and 2022, would that cost $200 or maybe even $250? I would have said, with the way things progress and with the fact that electronics typically go down in price over time, we could definitely see a 2018 Femi only cost $250. But instead, they've stayed kind of high, sometimes even more expensive, and that lower end is just full of such junk. In fact, a lot of them, Ron, you can't even get a micro SD card on some of them. Yeah. Like, the SD cards are disappearing on those lower end.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Here's a question that I want to pose is that you have Femi, you have Hubson, who are supposed to be coming out with it. Why can't they get this right? Is it they're not throwing enough into R&D? Why can't they get the sub 250 right? Why is, I get it. DJI's got deep pockets. And is it technical expertise? Is it parts availability, design availability, or, design knowledge? Why can't they get that right at a sub 250 level to at least get in the door on the low end that, maybe takes a chunk out of DJI's bottom end.
Yeah, good question, Patrick. And one
Yeah.
one of their main issues is quality control from both Phoebe and Hubsan.
Yeah.
I mean, every other drone they send out is a stinker. It's got some kind of problems with it. I mean, John, even in the old days when we used to get the old SEMA drones, I mean, you could pretty much count on you were going to get a good SEMA drone if you ordered a SEMA drone.
They were simple, though.
They didn't have this terrible quality control issue.
They were simple, though, Ron. They were very simple drones. They had, just basic stabilization. And the more complicated you make this stuff, the more quality control checks you're going to have to go through. But it's almost like it's beyond quality control necessarily with some of the FEMI stuff. Like, they literally just send out straight up unpolished products. It's unpolished. It's beyond getting something that's defective, right? Like, when I got the FEMI Mini, honestly, that drone was part quality control issues, but it was also part, it just ran that way. And, there wasn't a truly perfect FEMI Mini out there. We've seen that so many times with Hubsan as well. Oh my God. It's a multifaceted issue.
Hey, and I say this all the time, though, but like we all know what we're getting into, like we all know FEMI and Hubsan, but there are people out there who have no idea.
Oh God!
And they buy. Oh, I'm spending $500 on a drone. They get all excited and they get it home, and they can't work through the problems like you guys can. I can. They just can't, and it just kills it.
And that brings me to another question: is that I'm in some of these Facebook groups, and you have, and a lot of them are for novices, and I get it. I started off researching everything. I watched videos. I researched as best I could before I bought that first drone. And it's like these people forgot that they have a computer in their hand and can look this stuff up. They want the simple answer from the guy on the Facebook page that's going to tell them what they need to know in like 2 sentences. Do some research. I mean, it's some simple research is all you got to do on YouTube, and you'll figure out what sucks and what doesn't really fast.
Yeah. Oh, don't get Marcus going about lazy people on the. Oh man,
John and I talk about that.
Patrick, and the guy on Facebook that's giving this quick answer doesn't even have a drone.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, Marcus and Ron, and I don't think you guys had the Xeno. Pat, did you have the first Xeno?
I did not. I got the Xeno Pro.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, John had it. Yeah,
DeMarco, I bought it from you.
Yeah,
you bought it from me.
You remember where John's came from?
No. But what I'm trying to say is, when that one came out, I pre-ordered it though, so I didn't have anything to base it off of. I was just it was just faith. Marcus and Ron, what about you guys? Did you?
Same thing.
Because no one had it yet.
Well, I had owned some of their, their other drones. Yeah, what was the real popular drone from Hubsan, the GPS drone?
The 501S.
Yeah, I've flown the 501S, and I had the smaller one from them too.
Meaning this. So like back then it was faith, Pat. To what you were saying. Now, like you don't have to do that. You can just watch the video and then wait a couple of weeks. And then
let me run this by you. I am thinking that one of these days I'm going to take the original Hubsan Xeno, the original Xeno. I'm going to fly it, and I'm going to take the Xeno Mini Pro, and I'm going to fly it, and I'm not going to tell people which footage is which, and let them pick the best one.
Cool idea.
I'm willing to bet you. I bet you that most people will pick the original Xeno. I'll bet.
I bet you so too.
Yeah, even when the Xeno Mini Pro came out, that damn thing got such soft focus. I want to bash it into a tree.
God, I'm glad. Thank you for reinforcing my feelings, Patrick, because that's exactly right.
Every single Hubsan drone I've ever owned, with the exception of the Xeno 2 Plus, which I still have, has a soft focus, and it just drives me bonkers.
And shakes. I flew mine the other day. The shakes in the video make the Nano Plus look like it's solid. I mean, yeah. How could they even How could they even ship that? I mean, it just blows my mind.
It makes me want to office space my drone.
Yeah,
I want to go out there with a bat and some gangster rap going on and just beat that thing with a bat as hard as I can until it's nothing but dust.
Look at the chat. A lot of people are bringing up the 501S. Like Pleasant here says, my first was a 501S. So a lot of people started out with a Hubsan.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember the X4 Star by chance? Oh man, it had a GPS in it.
I remember the name.
But it was a brushed quadcopter, and it flew for maybe 6 minutes. It was kind of bad. That was my first Hubsan, the X4 Star
Is that
Pro.
blue and yellow or purple and yellow?
It was yellow and black. It was yellow and black.
Well,
the
here,
Hubsan
said it,
X4
nah, but just to show you, I bought my father-in-law one of those like 3 years ago, and it was like he couldn't even get it up in the air because like you had to bind your phone and the controller.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
And so it was just a mess. I'm like,
by the time you got it up in the air, you had already burned some decent battery off, and you were maybe going to get like 3 or 4 minutes of actual flight time.
Yeah.
And you couldn't use any of the GPS app stuff because it was a brushed drone. It barely had any power to do anything. And then when you flew too far away from the phone, like 50 meters, you'd lose video signal. What a piece of crap. Oh man. I like the Xeno though. The Xeno V1 was a decent drone for the price. Like it really was. It wasn't bad.
Between that and the Xeno Pro.
Yeah, the Xeno. It's weird. I'm glad you brought that up, Patrick, because it's weird. The Xeno Pro. I have one of those as well, and again, soft focus, right? And I don't understand why didn't they just put the camera from the original Xeno on there? I don't understand. The original Xeno. One of the things that they corrected with the Xeno Pro was the problem with the battery just quitting and the drone falling out of the sky. And I recommend,
right here.
If you have the original Xeno, make sure you run their latest firmware on it because it has a warning in there that it literally looks at the battery and tells you when there's problems with the battery and don't use it if it tells you there's a problem because the drone will fall out of the sky. But that's the weakest point of that drone. And of course now, even I think you could probably still buy one for $300 or $350. Well, why would you when you can buy the DJI Mini SE?
Yep, it really changed the game, and that's what's left a lot of these drones in such a weird category where it's like, why would I bother even touch it?
Oh, if anyone gets me started on EXO drones, those Hubsan rebadged, ZLRC rebadged things.
Yeah, that's horrible.
EXO drones, stay the hell away from them. They're crap.
Yeah,
they're like, well, they're made in the USA. No,
they're not.
They're rebadged. They're sold from a company here in America. Do 5 minutes of research, and you can figure that out.
Yeah.
You know, it's frustrating because these companies kind of pass this stuff off like it's the next best thing, and people buy into it. They just
there's bad reviews. There's bad reviewers out there too who will literally just push this stuff because they're making a ton of affiliate cash. They're making money off the views. They won't say anything bad about anything ever. So do
any of them live in Canada?
I'm not naming anybody. People, they know who they are. They know who they are. I'm going to leave it at that.
Maddie already named them.
The people who do that stuff know who they are, but they're cheerleaders. They're product promoters. That's what they're supposed to do, and that's why some people get misled and they go down a path that really they should have chose something else. Would have saved them a lot of money and time.
They buy the crap. Well, Ron, what do you think? We've been at it for almost 2 hours.
I think it's about time in the show. We've been going about an hour and 45 minutes, and we could talk about the old toy drones of the past all night long. I think Brian Singleton made a video where he said something like, I guess it was the Mini SE just killed the whole toy drone market because for not a whole lot of money, you can get something vastly superior than all those other, $200 and under drones. And I always say this too, like the people say, well, I can't afford that drone. But you look at their room and they have 5 or 6 of these $200 toy drones. So you say, well, if you just wouldn't have bought those last 3, $100 drones, you could have the mini SCs. So I don't buy that either when people tell me it's about the price.
Yeah, honestly, I don't hear that very often that the mini SC is too expensive. It's really as far as for what you get for that drone, very very affordable, and you got a huge value out of it.
Right. So, all right, I want special thanks tonight for John and Patrick for joining us to talk about the Drone Master. I hope maybe I know when I comment to Marcus' video, I may have made the same comment to John's video. You guys just saved me $170 by doing this video. So I hope maybe we save some people some money today. And I know Maddie enjoys the goggles, and the goggles again. These goggles are one of the particular things. They really suit. Some people don't suit the others. So I'm sure there's some people out there that really will enjoy them. So I think we've talked up the good part of the goggles also. So I want to thank everybody for joining us in chat, and especially for the people that stayed with us the whole time out there. I see Brian out there. A lot of people stayed this whole time. Ken, Maddie. So you guys, thanks for staying. And anybody want to say anything before we leave? Any may want to shout anything out or promote something or say hello to somebody?
Get out, fly drones, have fun.
Absolutely.
One thing. Everybody, I changed the name of my channel to One Eye in the Sky, so no longer just my name. John and I were kind of spitballing, and we decided we went with some names back and forth, and we settled on that one because I was just looking for something that was a little more drone related. So One Eye in the Sky was also known as Patrick Sutton. So if you were subscribed to me and all of a sudden you got a weird message that One Eye, you're now subscribed to One Eye in the Sky, it's still me.
Right. And I just dropped the link to Patrick's channel in the chat in case you guys don't have it.
Great.
I want to thank Ron and Marcus and DeMarco for having us on tonight. It was a really good chat.
Hey.
I said DeMarco.
He said DeMarco. I heard it, DeMarco.
I said DeMarco.
I heard it, dude.
You're messing with me. You're messing with me. Oh man, no, it's been an awesome drone chat. It's always fun to come on here with DroneNation, and hey, DroneNation is part of the reason why Patrick and I eventually got together and started flying drones. So I mean, literally, I was on here one night, and Patrick's just like, "I'm in your area, I think. Come and fly all my drones." I was like, "Hell yeah!" So
we get the same thing from Johnny Drone Fly. Ray Kelly met in this show.
Yeah. So DroneNation, bringing everybody together to go out and fly, right?
Bringing the drone world together.
Hopefully we're bringing a lot together in Florida in about a month.
Group hug. Yeah, I wish.
Hug.
So, all right. DeMarco, any closing shots?
Good night, everybody. We will see you next week.
Same time?
Same place.
Good night, and fly safe, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.